listen up. The purpose of video.
My name is Tio Lavranos. Me and my brother, yeah, we do own it. Well, me and my brothers grew up loving reading comics. You know, we got started reading Sonic the Hedgehog comics when we were like 8, 9, 10 years old. And then that kind of led the way to like X-Men and Daredevil and Spider-Man comics. And then of course, like any kid in the 90s, I loved the X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons, the Batman animated series. And then, you know, that just kind of progressed as I got older. I started branching out and exploring like independent comics, things that, you know, kind of dealt with a little more adult themes. You know, as much as I love superheroes, what I love the most about comics is you can tell any kind of story, not just superhero stories, but, you know, anything as personal as like relationship stories. I'm gonna pour a latte. I love the idea of a comic shop. I love the idea of a place people come, get together, and geek out and talk about the things they're passionate about. And I noticed like a similar environment in a cafe, right? Like a lot of people come. It's like what Starbucks would call the third place. It's not home. It's not work. It's another place you go with your people to be able to, you know, talk about ideas or talk about your passions. And having worked in comics and in coffee shops, you know, ever since I was a teenager, I just kind of saw the opportunity to merge the two, and here we are. Yeah.
Do you come here often?
This is actually my first time here. I was looking for comic book shops in the area. We moved here a couple of months ago, and I figured, hey, coffee, comic books, that's two perfect things in one, if you ask me.
Do we put it in half for you? It holds.
Sure.
Cookie, little man.
So the name Panels comes from, if you open any comic book, you'll notice that the story is told in little boxes, and that's called a panel. So in our mind, it's, you know, Panels is the place, you know, where your story can take place. It's where your story can begin or it can end at the end of the day, or it's a place where you can come to discuss what happened in your day, in your life, in your story, basically. So that's where the idea of Panels came from.
Oh, what? Yeah. Here you go. Oh, quick drop. Ooh, don't forget it right here. But yours hotter, right? Sorry.
So our focus is primarily newer books. We believe that that's where the conversation is. That's what people are excited about and talking about is new comic books that come out every week. We get new comics from DC Comics. We get new Marvel comics. And as I mentioned earlier, we have independent books too. So we get new comics every week. As well as new graphic novels, new trade paperbacks, anything that, you know, my thumb being on the pulse kind of picks up as being exciting, something that people are talking about. You know, really listening to, you know, what online forums are saying about what they're excited about, what our customers are saying about what they're excited about, and that kind of influences how we order books for our store. So what we're really proud of is working with many local bakers and food folks here in Oceanside, as well as a little more north. We get our blackbird pies from San Clemente, California. It's a little family-owned pie shop, and those have been a big hit. It's kind of a unique thing that not a lot of other coffee shops have, like little personal hand pies. And then we have the regular accoutrement, like we have bagels, we have muffins, cream cheese. We also have cookies that we get from another local baker. We get donuts that are locally made, and we choose these people because of their quality and ingredients, and a lot of these, you know, tend to be on the more healthy side of your morning, you know, snacks.
Can you please state your name?
Logan Ridgeway.
How long have you been working at Panels?
Since we first opened in, was it like late July, early August? So from the first day we opened, I was here.
Why did you take a job here?
I love comics. I've been reading them for a couple of years, and I love coffee, and I just thought that you know, working at a business when it's first opening would really be just an awesome experience.
Okay. What's it like from your perspective behind the counter?
Oh man, it's really fun to make coffee. There's lots of different ways that you can make coffee. Also, it's great to kind of recommend comic books to people and just to see, share my joy and to recommend, and when they come back and say, oh my God, that was great, I love that book, or just kind of talk about it and nerd out. It's really fun. Yeah.
So do you like nerd out with every customer that comes in, or most of them?
Everyone that lets me, yeah.
A lot of people ask, like, do you consider yourself a coffee shop first or a comic shop first? And I always say I like to think of us as both. Something for everyone. People can come in with their families, and if they're not into comics, we can get them a coffee and a pastry, while the other people in the family who might be into comics can browse the shelves, hunt down something that they like, and then in that way they can introduce comics to the people who might not be as familiar. And so it kind of is a way to bridge the gap. And I think you want to make sure that each side of the business is getting as much attention and as much effort is being put into it. But on either side, we're take a lot of pride in our coffee. We pick up our coffee from Bird Rock Coffee Roasters, so it's all organic, and it's the quality that you can taste.
Con los tacos de pastor. It's even better.
Yeah, so we primarily sell comics. We do offer a lot of free reading out on the tables and so on for people to just come in and pick up and read. But we do sell everything on the shelves, all the graphic novels, and then the new books that we put on that shelf over there. Everything is for sale. As far as buying back old comics, the fact of the matter is we're definitely interested, but we're trying to steer clear of that for the moment because we have so much inventory in the back that we're already trying to push and clear out. So it really depends on what people are trying to sell when it comes to selling comics to us.